It's March 7th, 2022, at 6 p.m. I'd like to bring the Douglas Board of Health meeting to order. And in doing so, we have Irene Cogden here. Very fortunate to have her this evening. Irene is going to, if I'm not mistaken, is going to enlighten us about recycling.
Grants, yeah.
Right? So if you don't mind, Irene, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm Irene Condon. I'm the Regional Recycling Coordinator, and it's all part of Mass DEP, or Department of Environmental Protection. And I go from 495 all the way to the Quabbin, so I have 75 communities. That's my region. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I can't believe it. Time flies when you're having fun. I've come before this board, I think, about 3 times in that time frame. That would be a little different, but we've talked about, the transfer station various times about updating things. But this year, the grant has changed, which is a good thing, that in the past, we had a high bar, that if you had 8 points, it's a point-based program. It's called the Recycling Dividends Program. You get money for things that you already do. So, and then it kind of entices you, just do a little more. So if you do one more, the little thing, then not all on Kristen, it could be other departments, the library do something, the schools do something, then the town gets credit for it and you get more money. So in the past, you had to have 8 points to even look at the application, and you would always be like at 5, so we just really never looked at it. And so this year, it is now 1. You get 1, guess what? You charge people to you drop off bulky items. There you go. You have a place, so there are things already you've been doing for a long time, and then you get credit for it. And so we can walk through that. You did get your numbers in, so this grant is not due until June, and we asked that the prerequisites needed to be done in February. And I still have not heard, I was kind of calling.
Got it.
You did get it in?
Yep.
Okay, so the town administrator was doing, one of the requirements that we have is that the towns have a buy recycle policy. You've actually had a buy recycle policy since 1997. It's kind of like we went through the state of, the federal government has a buy recycle policy, the state government has a policy. If you do purchasing, we have an office to state contracts that have better rates for different things. But as we all know, I was just listening, if Buy America, it helps America. If you buy recycled products, it helps your products. You separate things at the recycling center, but if we don't have a market for them, then they just sit in a warehouse. But if you buy paper made from recycled material, you buy toilet paper, you buy different things at the DPW garage and things like that throughout the other departments, then that helps the market. And in the past couple of years, as the price has gone up and down because of China accepting stuff, didn't take the stuff, it changed things, and we all realized that this is more important. So we made a stipulation, it's not only that you have a policy, but your town administrator does a yearly reminder. So that was our problem last year, that he didn't want to do the reminder, but we got it this year, so good. So you got all that in, and so now this is the application, and it's really hot off the presses. I am officially, I just got it, I got a draft one last week, and then this one was saying, this is it. So I think tomorrow it'll be on the website, and this is the guidance document for the whole grant. And so you get credit by having a minimum $5 fee for bulky items. People bring something in, there you go. So just that alone is already $700. That's kind of the things that we try to do is moving forward. Collecting certain items, and I think you guys do a lot of these, is a couple things get like, we're almost there, like books. I think you have a book bin. You take auto tires.
The Kiducation, that
Oh, the
little box.
communication thing, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
is that for more textiles? Sometimes that's for
Textile.
clothing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
They
Yeah,
don't
but I
want-
think you can do book.
They don't want books in that.
They don't want books in
No,
that?
they've got so many, they
All
don't
right.
want books.
So there's another company, or talking to the library, sometimes the library will say is,
Library wants
Will.
to do something.
so what you can say is, have a bin there, or something, they just have even a park a truck on a Saturday or something and say, hey, this is for the library.
But this
You-
is for recycling.
No,
No.
that could be for reuse, so this is a
Okay.
reuse and recycling
Okay.
kind of thing, not for disposal.
Okay.
Bulky rigid plastics, I don't think you guys have that yet, we were talking about that in the past, that's if you have like laundry baskets and things, but you have a container just for that, I think you take everything, but it's all in the big,
It's-
bulky
yeah,
items.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. Electronics, you take that, the appliances, the old white goods. So now this is new, is mattresses.
Mhm.
So mattresses, as of November 1st, is a banned item. So a lot of these things, I don't know if you've heard of waste ban items before, but at the transfer station, you have the list of these are the things that can't go in the trash because they're banned. So on a state level, we've banned since 1990, cardboard can't go in there, no tires, no electronics, no, so now the newest ones is mattresses. So November 1st, no mattresses. So we gotta kinda add that in there. So a couple things you can do is, talking to a vendor, you gotta kinda separate them out. If they are really bad, meaning they're wet, they're moldy, of course that's trash. But they are very relaxed on the thing, so if it has a little rip in it, if it has a stain on it, then it can be recycled.
Is this mattresses and box springs?
Yes. The only thing that they typically don't say is futon mattresses. I don't know how, I don't know what the in between that, but foam mattresses is, and all mattresses. So it's talking to a vendor. In the past, I would be able to give you a grant for mattresses. As of right now, I have not gotten that approval yet, that we'll have that available. So you have a couple choices, is to say, have an event, you don't take mattresses regularly, but then we kind of still want people to have a choice for them. So they're talking to, we have on state contract, different vendors for mattresses. The one that's closest to you is Green Mattress out of Milford. And there's a couple in Connecticut that we have state contracts with. So they keep on adding, and I think, I want to say next month, I think we're opening this up again to see it, because now it's officially banned and we have the November deadline, that we're going to open it up to see if we can get even more vendors.
So I'm somewhat confused here by the fact that you mentioned something about if there's a tear or if there's a large stain, we will take the mattress, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so the mattress recycler is filleting it like a fish,
Okay.
and they separate things out. So they've been doing it now, I'd say almost 15 years.
Mhm.
We have on state contract these vendors that have been going. We have 96 communities that have already been collecting mattresses on a regular basis. So now it's statewide, so.
Well, I guess my point is this, somebody comes in with a mattress and slices it, so we have to take it?
You don't have, you can charge for it like you would right now. You accept mattresses, but you put them
Yes.
in the hopper as bulky trash.
Yes.
So what's gonna happen November 1st is mattresses that are not moldy and, saturated,
Mm-hmm.
they cannot go into that hopper. So they need another location to
Oh,
go to. So
okay.
that's the newest,
Okay, but a regular mattress can
be recycled.
be recycled?
Yeah.
So we have to have additional space for that, we take it?
You
And we
take it, I mean,
recycle it.
your choice could be, you can, I have this in Leicester, but Leicester is a little different, it's a recycling center, not a transfer station.
Mhm.
But Leicester does not take couches and they don't take things, so they were gonna take mattresses for a little bit, and then they said, no, we're not taking mattresses, we're telling people to go to Oxford, to the Casella transfer station, which will have then a container. So, it's,
So it seems to me that a better policy would be just not to take them, period.
I give you an incentive. So how I give you an incentive is pretty much, you accept them, I give you another $700. That's part of the grouping here, you're close to
Per
it.
mattress?
No, not per mattress, but you can charge,
But we'll still charge for every.
you're still
mattress.
charging, it's just having a different, moving it around. And I know
Sure.
the space, when we talked about before, is like where things go and stuff like that.
Okay. That's gonna
Okay.
be the hard part. We're just,
Yeah.
we'll have to
I
get a
think
container.
it would also prevent like people dropping them off on the side of the road too,
Absolutely.
if we took them.
You're right.
Because I do live on a far road in Douglas and there is so many things that get dumped on the side, it's so bad.
Yeah,
And
tires,
sometimes it's a
something.
big education thing if people can come to the transfer station to take mattresses. The other thing is that there is reuse for mattresses that are in very good condition. So we do have furniture banks. I don't know if you've heard of we have one in Worcester, Urban Missionaries, and we have Fresh Start in Hudson. So I know that's a little, but I think there is, I don't know if there's some over the border, but they come to events, so sometimes the schools can put on an event. I actually had a school band have a mattress fundraiser. I don't know if you've had that in a while. I know because of COVID we haven't had that in a while. But they'd actually bring the mattress companies to the school gym, and each mattress that was sold, the band got $50. So people were, of course, updating their mattresses. It was a good deal for them. But then you could now say, hey, mattress recycling, bring your old one as you get the new one, you know. You could just do an event, and that might not even be you. That could be the school, you know,
Sure.
whoever's, if they're doing those types of fundraisers.
Similar to what we do with tires and that type of thing.
Right, you can do an event kind
The
of
thing
thing.
is, if we take mattresses, we have to have a container for them, correct?
Right,
Now, it's gonna have to have a roof over it, right?
yep,
Because the open tops we have, we can't get an open top of that, because if it rains or snows, they're gonna get.
yep. You want it to be dry, so if you don't have a other container, a shed or something, you know.
We'd have to have, similar to what we do with the electronic.
Yeah, we need something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, so that's something to think about and plan for the budget and how to do that. Sometimes working with the vendor, they have something in the past, the grant, if you were participating in this grant beforehand, a lot of communities have stored money. The wonderful thing about this grant, which is nice, it's not a reimbursable grant. The second you get the grant, the town signs the bill, the acceptance of the grant, and the money gets electronically transferred to your account. So, and we ask that you put it in a revolving account that you note, and you don't have to use it all up in 1 year. So to give you an example, South Sturbridge saved their money, and they really wanted a baler and 3 roll-offs. And so they needed to have like $25,000-$30,000 to do all that. And they stored their money for 5 years. And then they had the money, and then they were able to just buy it. So that's kind of we'd like communities to use the money right away, or at least a portion of it. But if you have something big in plans, then you can use that.
Question.
Yeah.
You said there were incentives for the mattress program. Is the $700 the incentive, or is it to get the container to put the mattresses in?
In the past, I would have given you the container. I just don't have that available at this time. I'm kind of still waiting for.
So it may come.
It may come, but I'm at like a 30% sure.
We should not hold our breath.
Not for that one. A year ago, I'd say go for it. But not this time. But you get credit for propane tanks if you do the 1 pound propane tanks. Because sometimes the 20-pounder guys have stopped collecting the 1 pounders. So I don't know if you.
We don't take the 1 pounder.
Yep, that's why we added that as a separate item now, because we know that they're not taking it. But you have the fire extinguishers, because the propane guy takes fire extinguishers.
No, not that I know.
So then ask him,
All right.
because I will give you that kind of credit if it's propane tanks plus 20 pounders plus fire extinguishers.
Do you have names of people that we could call for propane?
Yeah.
We have a tough time getting them picked up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because since COVID, they changed names, and then a new company came in. It was like Blue Rhino, and then he switched, and then he got bought out, and then they had this other. So there's like 3 companies, but I know a lot of people have changed around in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Osterman doesn't take them, do
I don't know, we used someplace in New Hampshire.
Does
Mighty
Austin-
Flame, but
Austin
it's
take them?
changed.
Yeah.
I'm not
Flame
sure
is one of
who she called last time.
Yeah, yeah.
But they only take them if we have so many. Like, we have to store like 30.
Yeah,
Well,
sometimes
the
50.
old place was
50.
like 55.
I think it's 50,
You had to
yeah.
have 55 for them to come over and take them, but then you found somebody else.
Right.
They
And
came took
sometimes
the
you
last
might,
batch, but-
whoever your local propane guy might even also be somebody to team up with. So I can tell you what other communities are using, but you might find that whoever's in town might be better.
Social. Social does deal in LP gas.
This is an issue that we talked about a couple times, and I don't think we've updated, is having a town hauler regulation. So it comes from this board, the Board of Health, update their hauler regulation. We have two different things for it. We actually have a big section here. You can get 1 point, or you can get 4 points. And so it's $300 a point, so $350 a point. So it moves up the thing. So if the board just adopts, we have a comprehensive hauler regulation, which we best practice document that we did about 3 years ago before COVID. We went and talked to all the different Board of Health. Some have 1 page, some have 30 pages, some have, I ask for everything. I just ask, do you have a name and your insurance? And that's about all I want to know. And then we went to all the haulers and we gave a spiel, and we had even a consultant come and work with us on the language. So we have this whole big packet of terminology to add in. And it's just to level the playing fields, because there are some haulers in town that always just want to, see the, don't make it as level as they can. The basic part is that you tell that every hauler that comes into town comes to the Board of Health and gets a hauler regulation, which I think you've had like a basic thing. But I don't think you have bundled pricing in there. So bundled pricing is that trash and recycling is at one. We've been having the waste ban since 1990, and some haulers still don't feel that that's part of their job, So they might tell, a resident calls up and goes, I need trash pickup, and they're like, okay, that's $400. Oh, you want recycling? That's another $200. And so they're like, oh, then don't bother recycling, I'll just pick up my trash and that'll be fine. So that's not bundled pricing. So what we want is bundled pricing. Whatever their price is, it includes trash and recycling as one, so everybody's following the waste ban laws. And then the other aspect of that is we've been kind of good with the one-family households, but the multi-family households, the people that have dumpsters, somehow rarely get recycling access. And it's just like, yes, bundled pricing. If you have a dumpster for trash, then you gotta have a dumpster for recyclables. People still get, all their Amazon packages, all their cardboard, and in most cases, those families are not going to the transfer station. And so then they don't have that access to basic recyclables. And then the other part of that is the commercial. So we kind of say all generators have this bundled pricing. So if it's a big company, just let's say Walmart, but I don't think you have Walmart. Right?
Yeah, we have all.
Okay, that in most cases, they've been recycling from the beginning because 95% of all their stuff is cardboard, It's just so they've been doing it a long time. They might not need a bundled service. They have a small guy for trash, and then they bundle their cardboard, they bale it, and they put it back, and it goes to their main warehouse, and they get actually paid for their recyclables. So they can be exempt from being it bundled, but we know that their stuff is being recycled.
Mm-hmm.
But you might have Dunkin' Donuts down the road that just has trash dumpster. But a lot of their stuff is all cardboard. And they are not following the waste ban laws. They're not following. So what we say is, no matter who they should have, that the whole regulations say bundled pricing. So and then we also have the waste bans in place, but we're a Commonwealth, so it's always so strange. I'm originally from New York. New York is a state. State makes the law, everybody has to follow it. In a Commonwealth, yes, we have Massachusetts waste bans in place, but I need every town to then say, yes, we agree with them. So you have it in certain places that you're following it. We have it at the transfer station, yes, we're following the waste bans. But we don't have the haulers or the residents know about it. So it's kind of just putting it out there of mandatory recycling. We have the waste bans in place for so long. Most of the big haulers in town have a recycling bin. You are recycling, but just note that it is mandatory. So it kind of levels the playing field. So we give a point for it's actually 2 points, $700 just for updating your hauler regulations, so that you have bundled pricing and mandatory recycling, just to follow what's been going on. And like I said, we met with the haulers. The haulers know this. This is not like we haven't talked about this, there are, 155 communities that already have this particular language, The, the next one is we actually give 4 points, altogether 4 points, if you actually enforce it. So the enforcement is kinda, every year, they do their, fill out their application, and you just ask them a few questions. What's going on? Are you giving out education? Do you have a problem? Sometimes they ask is, I can't, as a hauler, say to my customer, the condo association, you need to have a recycling bin. They go, fine, I'll talk to the next, hauler, and they won't get back to me. But if they say, this condo association won't buy, they won't take the bundled price. They keep on saying, this is what we paid last year, that's all I'm gonna pay, and this is it. And so they need a letter from the Board of Health, say, we have a hauler regulation, we have mandatory recycling, we have the waste bins in place, this is the regulation. Talk to your hauler to have access for your residents. So that's kind of the enforcement of just, and sometimes it's the opposite of, we have, a resident says, my hauler won't provide recycling. So I need the letter from the Board of Health to remind the hauler, yes, my block should get it. Somehow you service everybody else in town, but my block does not
Do
get the
they
recycling.
have to pick up recycling, or can they say, no, you have to come here and bring it?
Uh-uh.
Heard of haulers doing that too.
Like, I think Berkowitz, is that what you're kind of thinking? Most cases, we really ask wherever they're doing, at the transfer station you have, if you're dropping it off, you drop off your trash, you drop off your recyclables. If you're having it picked up, you're picking up your trash, you're picking up your recyclables, and that's that. I only really have one community but it's literally only 200 households, and Devon's is this weird community because it's so planned that everybody has to pass the center. The way the roads are structured, you can't get out without passing.
It's true, yeah.
So the recycling bins are in the middle and they're open 24/7. So and they have 2 compactors that are just open, and people can just bring their recyclables there. So that's the only community I have that the curbside pickup of trash bags, and then they drop off their recyclables at the central location. I don't really promote it, but in their situation, it kind of works.
But
I don't-
the burden goes on the hauler.
Correct. But the hauler can also use it the other way if he needs a letter to say, hey, I have a customer that just chooses not to participate. And then it's up to you on how far you go with that. You can kind of say, there are some people that just won't follow, and that's just the way it is, but at least they got their letter. There are condo associations which, those households really want to recycle, and it's just time that it's time for them to recycle. So that's up to you. We'll give you some money for that, and every year we give you this money. So this is not like a one-time thing. This is every year you get this money as an incentive to help with time or whatever, to say, hey, somebody's looking at this.
Was that one of the questions on the survey?
Mm-hmm. Because we kind of ask if you already have this in place.
Okay.
We do more or less.
But sometimes it's just the wording, like adding more bundled and to say all generators.
Yeah.
I was of the opinion that we did have bundling required. I don't know where that came from, but I thought we did.
I think we might have talked about it, or different emails have gone out, and it was like, we ask that you have this. And some of the, the single family households really have it, because they have to do this in other communities, so they kind of say, I'm giving you 2 95-gallon carts, this is the price. But if you don't live in that kind of situation, then you kind of don't get the access, unless you get a transfer station sticker. But if you have a transfer station sticker, then you likely don't have the free dumpster. Why pay double? Yeah. The other thing is, our new this year is diversity and equity inclusion for recycling programs. It's really regarding about multi-language information. I don't know if you have that. Sometimes it's sometimes we don't even know. If you talk to the school, that you might have different people in the community that you might not even know about, that need this other language information that they didn't even know the transfer station was there because they didn't know that, so it's sometimes just a question to the school, because you can just, give that.
So what is it you want us to do?
Alright, for the hauler regulation, or for
This
this?
diversity.
For diversity is to find out if you do have multi-language in the town. I mean, I don't think you really have that big of a population here, but you might be a little surprised, by talking to the schools. And it could just, you get credit, for just handing, your recycling transfer station information in that language, and we have, you know, all different things.
Okay, so we first have to find out if there are any
Multi-language into town.
non-English speaking people in town, and then we need a handout for them.
If they, and that's up to you. You don't have to do this. I'm just saying this is our newest criteria, and it's also is for low income. So if, and I don't know if you have that now, I know you have it by age, like if you hit a senior level, you get a reduction. But I don't know if you have a low income that they can maybe just come to you and say, we're, you know, hard situation now, can we get a reduced price? So sometimes that could just be, well, that's up to you of how, you know.
What if they-
Sometimes if they're already in a program, then you kinda know if they're getting free food for school or free food, what, different programs. So what we're just trying to do is, and I've had this for different communities, is we've had senior reductions at the transfer station, but not for families that are very in low income situations, and they're paying for curbside, and they really could, you know, save a lot of money if they use the transfer station.
But there are state programs already for low-income people. So are we able to tap into those to find a list of names?
Right, and it might be just talking to the police department or the senior town administrator, they might even have that list already. And just wondering if you just say,
Patrice may have it.
cause that can be, and the other thing is, so you get credit if it's a reduced fee at the transfer station. And, like I said, it's, you already have it for the seniors, it might just be an asterisk to say, if you have a hardship, call the Board of Health. And the likelihood is, what, 2 people might call you, you know, I don't know, that kinda thing, and just like, can I get the senior, you know, this year, can we be on the list?
Well, Douglas is not Wellesley, so,
It isn't?
so it's more likely.
I've never been in Wellesley yet.
Or Newton, so Douglas is more likely to have some low-income people.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that. And then the other thing was hazardous waste, which we've talked about for a while, and I don't know, did we finally, we were talking with NEDT to talk about getting a part of that. So, we give credit for hazardous waste programs. And I know you guys have been wanting to have a hazardous waste event for a really long time. It's just costs a lot of money, and the question is how to fund it. So what some other communities have done is not just the Board of Health, but sometimes working with other departments, like the water department or the fire department, that they might actually have money set aside. Is like, you don't wanna have an accident, you don't want people putting it down the drain, you don't want people to have a fire in their garage and the fire department has to go there, and there has not been a hazardous waste event in 20 years, you know, so we know that there's a lot of stuff in there. So there might be funding available in those different pockets. And then after you have this grant, then you'll have some grant money that you could utilize for hazardous waste as well.
How much is that?
It depends on how many points you get. So, like I said, this is a point program.
Well, I understand that, but you lost me on this transition. There was funding available, but it depends on previous funding kind of things. Is that
So
what you said?
you can, if a community has some money set aside for this, so I'd expect that you guys can probably get about $2,000 to $3,000 depending on how many points you get. So it wouldn't cost about hazardous waste events like $7,000, but I mean your community's a little smaller, so might be $5,000, but it depends on how much you give. So like I'm talking with Spencer on that. Is in the past they would give 1 car 5 gallons free, like the town would pay for 5 gallons per household. In Northborough they give 2 gallons. You can come in with 2 gallons, anything over that you have to pay. Or I have in Devon's, everybody has to pay every gallon, you know, so there is different
All right, so you're
Wasteful.
saying over and above all of our other monies that we can get, I mean, you can see the dollar sign on here, that there is additional funding available for hazardous waste?
No, it's a point thing here. It's a point, so I can give you 2 points or one or 2 points. So that's about $700, $300 or $700, $350 or $700.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, extra, that's
Okay.
in this if you, so the other thing that I talked about that could be kinda easy is like you talk to the other departments and, work with NEDT. It's really close, it's in Sutton. You kinda tell people to go there anyway. If you, make a contract with them and say, okay, if our residence goes, they show their license, it can come anytime. They can come on a Monday, they can come on a Saturday, they can come whenever, they're moving and they gotta take the stuff out, they're going. They don't have to wait till a special day. Then they get $20 off. Whatever they bring in, they get 20. So if they're moving and they have 20 years of stuff and they pretty much have $200 worth of stuff, the town of Douglas only pays $20, the rest they have to pay. And what I find is people really don't mind paying. They know they want to do the right thing with their hazardous materials. And they have to get rid of them, especially if they're moving. So and it's good if we get the education out there to kind of don't store it forever. to move it
You
along.
come in contact with, the NEDT?
I talked with him last week or the week before,
Yeah.
and he's willing to come and talk with us. But I just didn't wanna do it tonight and take
Yeah.
up all of
No,
Irene's
no.
time.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
and I don't know if I'm taking up too much time. I know you have a
No,
thing.
no, no.
So, but I want to get you credit, and I know that's something we've talked about for a long time, is to get that on there. The other is organics, and I don't think you don't have yard waste up there at the transfer station. But if you sell compost bins, then you get credit. So the only thing that we just asked is that it's $25, so it's a subsidies that the town subsidize it. But by subsidizing it, people are funny. I know it's like $55, $60 for a recycling bin, a compost bin on state contract. But you sell them for 25 people or more opt to use them and get them. And sometimes you go to 30, they're less. Everybody has their price point. But what our organics is right now, when we look at every 3 years, we take waste characterization of what's actually going into the waste energy facilities and the landfills, what's being disposed of in Massachusetts. In the past, forever, has been paper, but we've been doing really good that organics has now beat out paper. So it's 26% of all of what we throw out is organics, which is like crazy because most of our stuff goes to a waste or energy facility, and so we're adding the water on the fire is not productive. So we are focusing the next 10 years on composting. We have, what I talked to you about that the mattress ban, there's also the other is textile ban, but you already had covered that at the bin, so you don't have to worry about that. The other, which doesn't really affect you at all, is the organics ban. We already have in place a 1-ton organics ban. So if you generated a ton of food waste a week, then you cannot go into the trash, it has to be diverted. We just moved that starting November 1st, is a half a ton. So that really, in the past, was all your supermarkets and all the correctional facilities, colleges, they all have been working on organics for the past 5 years. And they've been doing great. So now we've just moved it down so that some of the bigger restaurants, the live-in facilities, that they need to start thinking, okay, depending on size, I think you need to have 300, so I don't know if you have that in town.
No.
So I don't think Douglas is affected by that, but it is getting people to, food service directors, to start looking at their menus, like I do that at schools. Sometimes it's just a basic thing. Add the cheese, they'll eat it. If you cut it, they'll eat it. If you just hand them an apple, it goes into the trash. So it's just, sometimes it's just simple things, and then they'll actually eat the food, or just a little more time for school lunch. But, so organics is big for us, but I can give you a point if you just sell compost bins at a reduced rate. Access. This is something really easy. I know we talked about this in the past, and I think you guys were discussing it, but I don't know what the final outcome was. was to allow non-residents to utilize the drop-off. So,
Drop off for,
the transfer station, so that a non-resident could come in, but they pay, so you'd have,
like a one-time.
yeah, the rate is, this is the rate for residents, this is the rate for seniors. If you're a non-resident, it's like that combined, you know, that's $300, you know?
Hmm.
So
That
that
could be
you,
a horror show.
How would you stop, you have to stop, I wouldn't know how you'd monitor that.
what do you
Yeah.
mean, they just get a sticker, so that whoever gets a
Oh, oh.
sticker, it's like what you have right now is the sticker, so you come
You have to-
in.
Okay.
But a non-resident, so it could be, so you get credit, so that's $300 a year just if you, $350, if, you let non-residents in. So sometimes, like for Dudley, I think they just say, I think there's only like 5 people that come in, you know? It's not,
Like, why wouldn't they do their own town, just 'cause it's,
so to give you, I don't know if we're really close, Uxbridge doesn't have any transfer station. You know, it might be in a further corner if they live on the border of the town, and it just might be easier to come to you than to go all the way to Douglas's one, or Webster also, you know, it's a little further of a
Yeah.
distance. So there'd just be like a few people that might just say that would be really good to do, or, we also, it's not on here, but it is kinda nice to have like a one-time access, you know, when people are moving in, just like, I have scrap metal, I have electronics, I have everything to just be able to come in.
I can see maybe a one-time thing, but to do it all the time, I think
Okay.
that's.
It'd be a nightmare, because there's times where I've had to,
Excuse me.
this is supposed to be for people at Douglas.
Right.
I've had times people come in, like Uxbridge or Sutton or whatever, sorry, you gotta go. You
Well, so
can't
some of
go.
them have, you know, they have their own places, it's just a few, but I'm just saying, that's a point thing here, is we give you money if you let non-residents in. Reuse is really big right now, if you have a swap shed, which I don't,
Nope.
we don't have that. Repair event, you might be surprised if, I know Westboro and Stowe, sometimes the, Rotary Club puts them on, so things that are going on that you might not be aware of, is sometimes the tech school sometimes puts stuff on. A zero waste day, I think we were kinda talking about that, were we talking about it here in Douglas? We were talking about it in Uxbridge, I thought maybe it's Uxbridge and Northbridge, they had it last year, but Webster, we're gonna have one in Webster in the
What-
end of
what-
April.
What does it mean?
A zero waste day is like to have multiple things, like you already take electronics regularly, so you don't
Right.
need that. But sometimes you have these other events where people just do a drive-through and they drop off stuff for reuse, stuff for recycling, and they just keep on going. So it's just a little event like that. The other, and that you might have this going on and you might not be aware, is a tool library. That the library.
Library's trying to do that.
Yeah, so the library has been the reuse center of the town since the beginning. You know, you bring a book, take a book. I mean, you don't burn the book. You just you keep on reading the books. And so then they moved to videos and music and stuff like that. And so now it's just tools. So some of them have made it into garden tools. Some of them moved into cooking tools. Some of them are just games. Some just so different things. And so you get credit just for the library to add on.
But they're frustrated, they haven't been able to do it, and they're frustrated because they couldn't get funding, because Matt hadn't signed off, or some involved kind of reasoning.
Alright, so what you could do is you can wait a year and say, hey, I have this, and then next year I can use a little bit of this money for that, and it might just mean helping with a shed in the back if they need a little more space.
But
Me.
if Justin calls you and
Sure.
discusses it,
You're always welcome to talk to anybody in town. Right? Isn't Dick call me all
we
the
can
time?
get over his frustration of whatever the problem is.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do here.
And sometimes also talking to another library if we do things, sometimes they've moved books around and they realize like, oh my goodness, like my town, we just put the games are like the number one thing you walk in, because everybody's been doing board games for the past 2 years. It's like unbelievable the amount of games, and you're like, oh great, I don't have to add more to my library at home because I can switch out for game night here, which is it's just a lot of fun. The other is waste reduction, and so we've talked about this, is if you go pay as you throw, meaning if you had pay per bag type of program, I know we talked about this years, the town didn't wanna do it. Just note, we give 5 points, so, $1,200 just every year if you go. And note that last year, you guys were at 1,700 pounds per household. That's really high of the amount of trash that people are bringing in town. So, you buy your sticker and you're like, I'm using my sticker. I'm gonna clean house, I'm gonna bring my trash, I might find somebody else's trash.
That they do.
Going down the road, I might have a cousin, I might have another apartment building or something, and, cause that seems like a lot. I just tell you, the city of Worcester's at 700, and you're at 1,700. So that's where I'm going to think.
Right. Well, that's because.
Sutton's at 1,100.
Pay
Yeah.
per bag is a.
Yep.
I don't know how do you feel about that, Dick?
It's a year process, so it's not like
Yeah.
tomorrow.
No, I don't-
I don't know about that.
So I'm just saying that is our goal on a state level, is to reduce our trash by 30% in the next 10 years.
Cause we'll get a lot of people who come in like on a Saturday where they got a lot. But they can't make it on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And if they got like 4 or 5 kids, well, you don't expect that.
I have a
No,
family of 6 or 7, so it depends on how many.
Buy the bags.
You buy them beforehand, so it actually is
Using their
self.
bags.
Oh,
You don't,
but-
don't charge them as they come in with the bags.
No.
So
No, they go. They
They
go.
buy
To,
a certain color
incurring
bag.
another cost for the,
well, and so what you do is it's changing in the fee structure. Right now, you have a flat fee program, and so you're like, and I forget what it is. It's 230.
No, it's 100 and 200.
100 and 200. Okay, so 200 is the regular cost
Yeah.
for everybody. So 200 and then taxes help pay for whatever other costs that you have for the transfer station. $200, you guys doing great.
Yeah.
That is great.
Well, not really, but,
It is pretty good, actually.
And it's a very good price.
no,
We
it's
really,
a good price, yeah.
It's a good price.
yeah.
It's
So that's
just-
what I'm saying. And note that at the curb, the last time I checked was about 450 to
Mhm.
600
Yep.
if they call call a hauler to come to the house.
We just did that too, called to find out.
So
It
what was the rate
5 to
they-
600, yeah.
$500 to $600
You're
Yeah.
right, yeah.
if you do that. And but if you made it like a simple thing of just saying, hey, if everything was brought to 100 and the senior, discuss with what you want to do with
Yeah.
the seniors, but and then you say you pay per bag. So if you only bring in 1 kitchen bag a week, then that's you get the small grocery bag, it's 15 gallons, your kitchen bag, and that's what you pay. And I have a family of 6. We have right now 60 gallons of trash typically. So that is with my mother, and so 7, my mom comes, and that's what really we get to that much. And so I pay more, but you know what? The amount for the food, whatever I have in there, is definitely cheaper than what the bag is. My husband's cup of coffee every day is cheaper than the bag that we do spend every week. So it gives an incentive to reduce.
How much are the bags usually?
The bags for the town to buy, off a state contract is about 20 cents. For a resident to take is either, we have ranges from $1 to $5, depending on how the fee structure goes. I do not recommend the $5.
Yeah.
I'd remember like $1.50, $2. It's kind of, but there's a kind of, it's a formula, you try to say, to open the doors of the transfer station is gonna be the entrance cost, cause it doesn't matter if I have 1 bag or 1,000 bags. I still need the guy to be there, I need the lights to be on, I need it to be flat, whatever the costs are, they need to be equipped by the flat fee. But then, what's your disposal cost? The cost to administer, the cost of the bag, the cost of the disposal cost, that's how much the bag is. And so, we give 2 different grants on that. So this is, you get this grant 5 points every year. But you apply for the other grant, which I have, and then we give you $15 per household as a start up.
As a startup.
as a startup, because we know, and we're gonna have a grant workshop on this, April, I was just looking at that, April 14th comes to mind, I think that's right.
What do you
Still
mean by a
old school year.
grant workshop?
We're doing it online.
How to set up the price of your bags?
It's a general one, April 14th, 10 to noon. And we're just going to talk about pays through in general. And then we're going to have a breakout section at the end that will be for curbside and drop-offs. So that we can discuss, so you'll hear people like Sutton that have done it for a long time. And then communities that are just thinking about it now. I think, I'm going to get their name wrong. In the northeast, a drop-off just went, I know it's just with a W. It's not in my territory. I get 75 to think of others. Town names, I lose it. But they just started, I want to say, if it wasn't January, I think they just started now in January, which I normally would say that's a terrible time to go, but as a drop-off, it's kind of, hey, we're going, you know, we're just changing the fee structure around.
I heard how you went through and got costs here and there, but I still didn't come to a point of setting a cost on a bag.
So how you set the cost of the bag is, we have bag companies on state contract. So that's the easiest thing, is they're already on state contract. So we already have this set of different size bags and different mills of the bag.
That's what it costs us.
Yeah, so that's
That's
what
not
costs
the-
you, but then they add in an administration fee that they actually can work right to the retail establishments. So it doesn't come from the town hall, it's not Christian's job, it's not the transfer station's job, it's wherever you buy milk. It's kinda like a convenience store, a supermarket, wherever you buy your bags now, you know, sometimes the hardware store. And then we just have a few different places that they house the bags, and they like it because people go there instead of just going right directly to Walmart, you know, further away. They'd go to the local store, and then they pick up their bags and then they bring them there. So it's also advertising about the transfer station, you know, to get people so they don't.
That didn't get me where I needed to get.
You want the price.
How do we set the price that we charge the customer? That's the question.
So that bag
And-
price
and
is
I
what you
heard-
get from the contractor, the vendor, and you wanna try to make what your disposal cost is. So your disposal cost and your bag cost and whatever administration, like any of Kristen's time you wanna add in, or the town treasurer's time, it's typically about $1.50.
But the disposal cost is a fixed cost. There's a hauler fee. You're gonna pay that.
Mhm.
There's the opening the gate, as you put it. The
Yes.
people who do that. There's the administrative side of it. But how do you know how many bags you're going to need to dispose of?
It doesn't matter because it's a variable cost, so the
But
the
the
people
variable-
that are coming in give you money, and that, as long as you set it right, and what you normally say is, you normally try to set it for 3 years. Well, we just, and that's gonna be, the workshop is, I've had communities like Maynard, that for 15 years, they're still at a 50 cents a bag. You know, it's time, they just did an upgrade because last year, they're like, okay, it's time to go to $1.50, you know. It was a big jump. Normally, we would say is 3 years. Be like, okay, we're at 75, you know, we're at $1 now, okay, we're going to $1.25, okay, we're going to $1.50. And to be like that, over 3, you know, 25 cents every 3 years. But that's something I can work with you with, and there's grant money available if you wanna look into that. Like, you can give me your numbers and we can just really put that in of what that would look like. It really is just, and Dudley is in that process, they got the grant. So he has a limit right now on what people can bring, and so we're discussing of like, well, just make it per item versus, you know, counting. Do you have 2? Do you have 2? Oh, I have 4, I have 2, so now give me your extra money. I think that's more on the staff to know what you're bringing, and if you're a vet, if you're a senior, you get to, like, that. I need to know who you are and how many bags you're allowed, versus you're all in green bags, good, just put it in the hopper, you know?
So this would be above and beyond when they buy their stickers.
It'd be a 2 thing, but the likelihood is that they would still come back down to $200. You know, it would, whatever the fee,
Right.
It is just cutting the pie a little different. The pie is still the same size, the cost and disposal. The goal, though, is when I give you a bag, you are going to now think of recycling, and composting differently, because you have a personal incentive to reduce. So it gives you that kind of thing, and that would then bring the town. Every community that has gone, and this is not just a Massachusetts thing, this is not just a US thing, this is international. Like, there are different countries, like Ireland. Everybody's on pay-as-you-throw. You know, it's just like, it just makes sense of, I'm not giving you any credit. It's like electricity, you pay for every watt you use, you know, and,
I think we should go spend a couple of weeks in Ireland and study this.
enjoy it. I love that. Textiles, if you do other activities, like not only having it at the recycling center, but maybe the senior center has it, maybe the school has a bin, you put it on social media, sometimes the band or a school club is collecting it. I have it in Westboro, the Girl Scouts have a monthly collection. First Saturday of the month, come to high school, we're collecting all the textiles, you know, and they put it in social media, they got everything, so they definitely get the credit of getting the word out. Waste reduction, education, it's just getting the word out. Sometimes, I don't know when's the last time a mailer went out to all households. Sometimes we always do a mailer just to,
Just a few years ago,
okay.
yeah.
So
Like one
sometimes
event.
we, at the transfer station, we just give, hey, you put a sign out and say, it's time for the new stickers, it's time for new stickers. So new people that come into town actually don't even know that there's a transfer station. So if a mailer doesn't go out to all households, and, you know, we see things differently. We need a banner, we need a sign, we need something at the transfer station, we need it on the Board of Selectmen cable, we need it in all different manners to say what's going on. So, so that's the grant. And like I said, the more points you get, the more money we give you. Okay, and like I said, it's not all just one thing. Of course, the Board of Health has the biggest impact of, if you have the hollow regulations, if you guys like the idea of going towards a pay-as-you-throw program, that would give you the biggest bang for the buck. And that would then help you reduce your waste, because you are very high. The average for Central Mass is about 1,400 pounds. You're at 1,700 pounds.
Is there a penalty for that?
No, it's just on the map, you look a little redder than.
Who cares?
Our goal on a state level, my job is to help you reduce your trash.
And we would like to do that.
Well, I think we'd probably be doing that just simply by the means of doing the mattresses, you know, recycling them. Because right now they go for the bulk,
Oh, yeah.
bulky items, so.
And they're heavy, you know, and that's
Right,
definitely
right.
something that would get out quick
Sure.
and come in.
That raises the issue, they're heavy. Somebody's gotta put them in the container. So are you saying the person who brings it in, puts them in the container, is that the general pattern, or is it?
There are
Yeah.
two different ways you can do it.
I help them, because there's a certain way we do it.
Yeah, they,
It comes over the rail, and it goes down on the lip of the container. Once it stands up on that, you just push it and let it go.
trouble is,
Yeah, but
that
that's-
won't be the same container.
Well, that I know. Then they're gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, so you're not gonna be able to flip it over, now you're gonna stack it in there.
Right.
So we
Which
have
is
great
awful.
little workshops that we've done for communities that have gotten the grants in the past, so that it can actually show you different ways of, I think it's more stacking, the different stacking of making sure if somebody gives you a king, you kind of put it on the side until
Yeah.
the end of the day to see how you can mix it up.
Mhm.
But, and it depends on the type of container you have. If you're using a certain size versus, you know, they're coming to pick it up on a milk run or something, then,
Do you keep any statistics on back problems with the recycling? No, I'm serious.
you know what? I don't, and I have not, I think in general, trash insurance and trash liability has always been higher than most people think, but that's really for the curbside aspect, and they have been really tough on them. Actually, people don't really always know that more people die, the trash guys, than police. You know, police get higher up, but I think
Don't
I just
tell him
heard this
that.
week. Well, he's not on the road with speeders and people in the middle of the night and morning and, you know, did not
We'll
wake up
lose
there
him.
texting and stuff like that.
And how do,
But I think at the transfer station, I think the average age moves up, that people are doing good longevity.
so how do the haulers, how do the residential haulers handle mattresses?
That is how we're really gonna be discussing it. It's most likely, and it's going to that way, is that you'd have to call. You call the company and then they have a
Okay.
rate for bulky items and then they put you on a time and a schedule. And then they have a separate truck that will then come and pick up your mattress and your,
Right, they
your
do that in
couch.
Worcester, don't they?
I think pretty much every town, if you call right now, you don't have a sticker to the transfer station, you call your hauler and then they say, yeah, it's $100, I'll come and pick up your mattress, I'll come and pick up your couch. But then where they're taking that, that's the question. So now everybody's gonna have to start taking it for recycling. Any other questions? I know I went through a lot. I wanted to give you what I was just circling here, just a kinda, so where we were at. I think there's, but I will email you this so you can share, like I just said, it's really hot off the presses. I only have one copy.
Well, you're very enlightening, I'll tell you.
We had a fun little exercise the last meeting. And as a result of that, I went out and did some work on education.
Mhm.
Do you have funding for education?
Well, that's what this is. So there's a couple different types of funding. This is your funding that I'll give it to you, you know. Goes right into Town Douglas's account. Electronic transfer, no cash or check needed.
I have a Bahamas bank here.
We have, for schools that contact you, we have a great site called recycling, thegreenteam.org, thegreenteam.org. So you can share that with teachers. You actually do get credit if two class.
I guess I went in the wrong place. If we wanted to do something at our transfer station that's educational, are we looking at funding from you for that?
This is the program I have, so, I'm hoping to give you two, that's yours, you can keep that. And I'll send her the full document when it's official, it's just not on the website. When I have a website, then I'll get it out. I'm expecting I'll give you $3,000, you know, depending on two to 3,000, something like that. And, you can use that for all education. So if you want to add more signage at the transfer station, you want to have somebody there and hand out flyers, you want to, and I feel like I did that one year. I feel like I might have even had my white dog with me. Standing out there giving out education.
With the dark glasses and the white cane?
I had some white, he might have been in the car. I know I did that for when Westboro, and that was a little crazy because you think your site is small, and Westboro you think was really big, but they only have 6 spots at the hopper, at the trash container. And people have to, it's the craziest thing, they have to be online, and they're online for an hour or more. And then they have to do a turnaround and back in to the 6 spots, so it's not around, it's not like a drive-through, like you guys just drive through, keep going. No, this is a turnaround back in.
It's efficient.
Your stuff is efficient, theirs is, so I got to talk to a lot of people that were online. But, to make it a little easier, have the dog say smile.
And the day goes on quicker.
It's like, you won't hit me if I have a dog, right?
Well, if it's that much trouble to get rid of your trash, you will reduce your trash, right?
No, because they think that they fill it up with everything.
Right.
So because he's in the back of the truck, back of the car, so they're not just bringing the kitchen bag, they're bringing half their house.
Mhm.
So Westboro and you guys are and Southboro. I have 3 communities that are kind of in the reddish area.
So we're targeted.
Not they're still a little higher than you, but because they also like to give bulky items and construction items for free, so that really makes it, you know. I'm doing a little project and I just throw everything. The
You
kitchen
know,
sink.
the thing about that is, two ways to look at it, actually. Yes, it's nice to recycle, no question. It's also, but on the flip side of that is, it's not nice to pick up other people's trash in front of your house, because that's what happens. If they can't get rid of it there, they'll get rid of it, and they're not gonna pay for it.
Nope. So
So
it's
you pay
to
a
make it
little more-
efficient, right.
You pay a little more on this side, but to me, the advantage is, you know, you have a nice, clean town, you're not picking up, and our highway department, thank God for them, they're wonderful
Yeah.
people, they help us out a lot.
Mhm.
They
Um,
pick up a lot of stuff on the
that's
side of the
right.
road.
And it's mostly the bulky items. I always think of, you know,
Right,
if people don't know where to take the mattress, especially if you don't have a vehicle that can take a mattress.
sure.
And if you're low income,
Yeah.
and if you just don't know what to do with a couch, like, so we gave somebody, who did online, we just did this weekend, is, this person needed a couch, we gave them a couch because they had a fire, and then they were able to get a better couch for their family, which was good. So now we went over, helped them move the new couch, so the old couch is now ready to go. We got it off the side of the road last time, so now, but we can't do that now. So now where do we go? So now we have to dispose of it properly, but thankfully, we have the truck.
Well, see,
They didn't have, there's an older lady, did not have the truck, could not have the ability,
Yeah.
you know, that would have been on the side of the apartment building.
yeah,
or-
I see, you dispose of it properly, not everybody will.
No, that's the
dispose of it
thing is if,
properly.
because I needed to have two people that are able to pick something up
Sure,
and a truck to move it
yeah.
and a place to take it
Right,
because,
yeah.
hey, we have our recycling centers open to everybody. So we could go there. I could have gone to another town and pay like a one-time fee, but the one-time fee would be $50 and then pay for the item, per item, $20 to $50. So pay a free item that you got for free, now I'm paying $100 to get rid of it. This low-income lady is like, here's $10. That's all she could give,
Sure.
but, you know.
But
So-
it's better than picking it up on the side of the road.
Right,
So-
that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of thinking of those, how we can do that. If we have it open that non-residents can go, if we give one-day passes where people can go, that helps. Working with the haulers to say the haulers need to provide, and, you know, they provide a lot for single-family households, but I don't think they provide a lot of great services for the dumpsters. If you have a dumpster, just put it in the dumpster. And I think that's where the hauler regulation really comes in, is you gotta start providing some basic service, like, those families might not, none of them might have a car, let alone, you know, senior housing or low-income housing, or even condos. That, the little cars don't have, the couch can't fit on top, you know, the mattress can't fit on top, yeah, what am I gonna do with it?
Right, but then again, now, I mentioned the highway department, and they're picking up stuff off the side of the road, they're, you know, bringing it to us, you know, we have to dispose of it, it's completely on our shoulders.
Right.
So that's why I try to look at it as, you know, we're doing a service for the town because we're keeping the town
Clean, absolutely.
clean. And, yeah, it does cost, but I think the way we are doing it now has its advantages. It really does. And I know that it definitely advantageous to the you know, people in town.
Right.
So, we're doing, I think we're doing pretty good.
They're not there long when they come in.
I'm sorry?
They're not there long when they come in.
Yeah, they just come right there.
Yeah,
We
Do
get
their
them right
recycling.
and
out.
it does move around.
Yeah, I know, I've been there,
pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah, that's right.
I grew up in
Example,
Europe
like
and I go to Europe often and I just realize how much we are behind here with the Europe. Like my parents live in the village.
Yeah.
And the trash is very expensive. You know, they have the containers for glass. They have to segregate by color. Brown bottles, clear, green
Oh, my God.
containers.
And we
then
did at one point, we did that a long time ago.
Do they
and we
have a
did-
trash pickup or only?
They do have a trash pickup or they can bring it the transfer, but it's like so expensive that they really watch everything, but you know what they like how they segregate, because some trash is less expensive than the other,
Mm.
so depends like how much they have of
Like you
Like
say,
we're
it's
selling
expensive,
it.
but then what's happening now, gas is gonna be going through the roof, your groceries are going through the roof. I mean,
How much can
no
you?
one's got, you're gonna have that extra money, you know what I'm
It's
saying?
so
Yeah.
normal, so natural to them.
It's true.
At the transfer station, cause I don't go to, I have.
Oh,
a-
come on.
I know, but we did just get a truck, so maybe we can.
Oh, okay,
So,
good.
Better
if-
get a sticker.
He'll love that.
So if you have a sticker,
Mhm.
let's say you don't, like I didn't have a sticker and I had to get rid of the mattress,
Mhm.
and I'm from Douglas, can I go there and pay a fee to get rid of it, or how does, no?
No, you gotta have a sticker.
Okay, so
That's the
yeah,
way it's been, that's the way
Okay.
it's been.
So what about like one-time sticker
For
and like raise the
Douglas.
price, like
Hmm.
double price,
That's a
double.
possibility.
if you didn't want
No,
other
it's-
towns,
it doesn't
but,
have a sticker.
like if you had Douglas for somebody, like I said, like myself,
Mhm.
who's from Douglas but had to get rid of a mattress or TV, would there be something I could go and pay a fee just to dispose of those two things without a sticker?
Those are probably the people that are dumping it on the side of the road.
That's what I'm saying.
Not the ones
Because they
that
do
a
have a
sticker.
truck to get it in the back of the truck to bring it all the way out
the
in
woods.
Douglas
Yeah.
Mhm.
to the state forest and throw it on the side of the
You
road.
just have to have a.
And it's all different kinds of stuff. It's couches, TVs, mattresses, and like you said, somebody drives by and calls the highway department, cause eventually it's gone.
Yes.
So I didn't know if there's something,
Well, that's what
Douglas
happens,
had
yeah, that's what Douglas has, the highway department.
Yeah.
yes, I'm assuming.
And if you know the particular road, like where people do the most dumping there,
Uh-huh.
we do have on state, I like to help with illegal dumping and cameras, but sometimes they're so cheap to have motion, like people use for their hunting, you know, just put it out in the woods to
Sure.
see.
Sure.
And that's the problem too, cause it's the state forest, so people hunt, so all hours, so if you see movement, it's either they're hunting or they're dumping something. So,
Yeah.
I just didn't know if Douglas had something for someone like a
Could we
resident
put-
that doesn't have a sticker that could dump a mattress or something like that. If I wasn't cleaning out and renting a dumpster where they would take it,
Right.
you know, something for a one-time thing, but for Douglas resident.
Could we put that on the agenda for next time? Whether we want to do something like that, and what it might look like if we did?
Yeah, I don't see why we can't. Yeah. I mean, we are looking at,
We've issued one-time use permits before for people who needed, like hardship, they needed to get rid of things for hoarding situations and things like that. We've done that in the past. Issued 1 or 2 day or like weekend passes where they're able to.
On a
Yeah.
town-wide basis, or just?
well, we
No,
did
it's
it
been
with
an
the,
individual
we did
basis.
it with
It's been a
the
couple of
agent, Board of Health,
Yeah.
right? So we allowed them to dump.
Yep, there's been a couple of people where we were giving them 1 day passes to try to get their places cleaned up a little bit to, you know, cause their yards themselves have become the dump.
Let's discuss and see if we want to do it on a town-wide basis.
And if we did something where you did that mailer, she was saying,
Yeah.
put it on that, like mattress or something for
Like,
Douglas
is
residents,
that
one-time
a grant?
use.
Cause that's what we use the grant for, it was expensive to do that,
Well, you can also put it into different mailers that the town's already doing, so. if-
like the census or something.
Yeah.
We
You can have just a
actually-
piece of paper
we have
put
done
in
that
there.
recently, not recently, 3 years ago.
But you can just like say, like if you have, talk to the vendors or for regarding propane tanks, or you're adding something new and saying, hey, we're gonna be doing mattress recycling. In most cases, you're already taking mattresses, it's just depending, we're gonna have a new bin for mattresses, you know?
Right.
And, so that really wouldn't change, you know, dumping or anything like that, cause kind of the fee that
Mhm.
you're doing now is kind of the fee that you're gonna do.
Aren't the mattresses really expensive? They're gonna be like $50 a mattress.
It just depends. I have different towns that have gone, you know, all over with fees for mattresses. So even now,
We're
they're,
not talking about we're charging, we're talking about what people are gonna charge to take them from
Right.
us.
typically they're, right now in state contract, $16 for recycling.
Just under 60?
$16
One,
for,
What's that?
1/6,
Yeah.
1/6, 16.
Yeah, 16.
So
To
much
recycle.
mattress?
but you have to talk about getting it there and the
wow.
container and
Yeah.
things like that. So that's a different cost. So if you were adding in,
So they're
you know,
hauling
depending
it.
on the vendor, I mean, you can talk to your DPW or say, hey, I'm gonna put a stack here in this shed and when that fills up, you know, you're taking a, you know, a lunch run over to Milford, whatever, and you drop it off there and, okay,
That's
then
something that
that's
we
my.
have to work out with the
Yeah, I know, but
town.
I'm just saying, you can talk to them to say that
Sure.
that might be, maybe they
If that's
go
even
once a month
possibility.
somewhere for,
Hmm.
get their
Something to think
vehicles
about.
checked out or something, I don't
It
know.
seems like we're getting charged a lot for hauling away for
What's
a
the name of
mattress.
the
we
place
are.
in Milford?
Yes, we
I think it took
Green
20 on a
Mattress is
load.
the closest one, I think, to you guys.
They could
Green
put
Mat-
30 bucks.
Green Mattress,
Where are they? In Milford?
Milford.
Milford, yeah. It's not too bad.
Interesting.
Like you say, take a lunch break, sure.
That could be.
We could include John on that discussion.
Yeah.
We just load them in the back of Dick's pickup, no problem.
There you go.
Right,
So,
right,
hey,
take
you
the
have a
cap
pickup
off, you
too,
can
you
put-
know.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have a pickup too,
Two
Dick.
pickups.
I got one.
And-
Get
and
trained
sometimes-
on.
Ignore that.
I had events and they'd come for events and they, you know, they do pick up for certain amounts, you know, if you just say,
Right.
hey, I just have 10, you know,
Right.
so I think they'd work with you. I mean, in case of a long-term kind of things, they like to just have big groups of like 50 and something like that, but you can work out how that can be done. And it can also be with other communities, like you can say, because I know you've worked in the past with Blackstone. Are you guys still working
Yes.
with them?
We do free cycling.
Yeah.
So that might be something, I don't know who's, if Colleen's being the main lead on that, but maybe that it could be something, because this is new to doing the mattress, that maybe it's a milk run. So maybe you work with Blackstone on saying, hey, let's work with this vendor, and then he's just gonna come through and do all of the pickup instead of us bringing it back to Blackstone. He's just gonna keep on coming down and just hit, this is the day. I don't have, you don't have 100 all, you know, one community does not have 100 mattresses, but you got 10, you got 10, you got 10. And now I filled up the truck and now we'll go.
You can get 10 in a weekend.
Well, maybe, something, it just depends.
Yeah, we got a lot of mattresses in
Yeah.
box springs.
Yeah.
Question for you, Dick.
Hmm?
How many mattresses do we do a month?
A month?
A week, some period of time.
I think it ranges, doesn't it?
It does range, but I mean, some weeks we'll get nothing. Then another, I might get 12 in one day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So in a month,
I
are
think
you
it's when
looking?
people are moving, you know, I
Well,
think
I
when
don't
you're
think- Well,
Cleaning out,
inside.
spring
Yeah, but
cleaning.
in a month, are you looking at 50, 100, 200
say about 65.
in a month?
Wow.
I can
Some
bring
of
your
it's to be done, but
recycling
all
number
you
down
do
real
is
quick.
Show them.
Yeah,
put them
that's a lot
away.
of weight.
It's a trash, something's
A lot of weight in bulk.
We're sleepy
problem
people
is-
here.
When we put them in our bulky, they're open to the weather, which means they're going to get wet, which
Yeah.
means they're
That's why we need
heavy.
one with a cover somehow.
Yeah. Well, something similar to the
The
electronic
red
bin.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might cut our pounds down quite a bit.
Mm.
You're not gonna fit a lot in there though.
Not,
No,
not,
it would have
need
to be a bigger
one.
one.
Something
Where-
like that,
where
with
would you
a
put
cover.
that?
Have to put it down below. You know, you see, the way we do it now, like Dick said, he puts it up against the rail and whoop, right in.
Yeah.
So it's not heavy lifting.
Right,
it's-
most of it is like a trailer, so you kinda just walk it in. That's
Right,
what
metal
most
trailer.
communities
That's what-
just walk it in and drop it down
Drop
and
it.
stack it up.
Right.
That's what
I-
I sort of
Or they don't,
Yeah.
they don't
Well,
stand
Well,
them
it
up.
just depend, I think they said,
Stand them up?
they've done various research, and I think you can, in a 30-yard container, you can fit 20 if you go like this, but
Yeah.
you can go, if you go like this, you can get to 40, or, you can get
Mhm.
more in,
Mm.
and you put the kings on the side, and you put the
You
queens
seem
down.
to be
and-
pretty good at it. We might have you working on it.
We got nice little videos to watch it all out, and the big thing people always worry about is not to worry about bed bugs. You know, that's just
Well,
not.
yeah.
It's not the people that bring it in that are coming, unless it's like saturated in dirt and this thing, do that. But
Then you stop.
Connecticut has had a ban on mattresses now for I think 4 years.
Oh, really?
And no transfer station attendant has had a problem, you know, so we typically have them because people are just so worried, especially in Hartford where they've had so many different bed outbreaks. But the, you know,
That's-
a place that has a big issue, you know, they know it and they have a special.
Yeah, see, that could be an issue.
Mm.
We have it done, it's more of the other stuff, but in most cases what we say is, If you put your stuff in your own vehicle and brought it here, you're kind of in a different group than if you got a dumpster, you know,
Yeah.
to the place and you're throwing everything out. It's, you care about it differently and you
Mhm.
trust the material differently.
That's an interesting thing.
But we have a nice video to explain all the little details. And
Good.
it's just not to worry.
Yeah,
Like
you
a lot of people
You
always
sell
think of,
popcorn as well?
when you think about mattresses, you think about bed bugs, and that's like the lowest thing to think about.
Okay.
And guess what? We all have so much hand sanitizer. We are all good. On a state level, we're trying to give away, I think, like this room worth of hand sanitizer.
I can imagine,
It's
yeah.
like, if you know anybody that needs hand sanitizers in big containers, there is definitely a group that.
Then we'd have to pay to dispose of that.
And it's a hazardous material.
Hazardous material,
Just
yeah.
keep on using it, that's it. Any other questions? I'm sorry, I think I took a lot of your
No,
your
it was
time
very
here.
interesting
That was
and
a good information.
it was great information, yes. We thank you so much.
No
And
problem.
here's this-
Anytime, just give me a call.
It is a substantial change from what I looked at last year.
Yeah.
This might even be encouraging. I mean, I looked at last year and said, this is not possible.
Right, I mean, because you had to hit 8,
Yeah.
and so now you don't have to hit 8, you just have to hit 1, and you already hit multiple, so.
That is a monster difference.
And so if you can, like I said, talk to a school, you might be really surprised, and they have their own English learning second, you know, and be like, great, here's my papers, you can give that to them. Great, you know, there we go,
Yep,
$300,
yep.
you know, and talking to the library, they already wanna do it,
Yeah?
there you go.
Well, Dick is our lead man on
Yeah, I've been talking to Justin on another issue, so I'll just bring this one up tomorrow.
there you
It's
go.
a
Okay,
specialty.
great.
Hey, have a great day.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Irene, very,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anytime.
We appreciate your knowledge.
You'll be hearing from us. And what are you doing Saturdays?
Is that a date?
No, that's a hire.
We got Girl Scout cookies going.
Oh, there
It's
you go.
the last of my Girl Scout cookies.
Well, that's awesome, too.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
now.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Boy, a lot of changes, huh?
Yes.
Wow. It's good that you came here, Dick,
Well,
you know?
well, Kristen, I had to come and get some more stickers. and
So long you're here.
We were out
Yeah, just
Saturday
thought
at
you'd stop
11:30,
in.
we ran out.
I know, I
Back.
know.
You just got to talk to us for a
John
chuckle, you
again, I
know.
guess I'll
Yeah. Well, I guess we can move on here. We have the transfer station up next, educational signs,
Yeah, let me just hand these out first.
okay?
If I can hand them out. I think that's 2.
Thank you.
Dick, did you get one? This is the entrance to Walmart, and if you look at the bottom picture,
Looks familiar.
the low green one,
Yeah.
that's where you put your plastic bags,
Oh, great.
right at the entrance to
No,
Walmart.
it's perfect.
And
I-
I have walked by that 100 times more since I've come to town, and I have never seen that.
I've never known that.
That's interesting, yeah.
So
Is
I
that the
figured
first
that.
entrance? Yeah?
Yeah, what?
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like where you walk into the
Yeah,
food.
yeah, yeah.
And it's the market entrance, and it's just to the right as you walk in. So that
That's pretty
takes care of
interesting.
the elimination of plastic bags.
Great.
I will be doing that this weekend.
Yeah.
I would never notice that, you know?
I
I would never
I
notice.
do too.
And it's the low one, not the big one.
Yeah, I always put that one.
Yep.
Well, copy
Thank
your
you.
key, obviously.
Yeah, well,
Let me put this. Yeah.
hey,
You
gotta
never
be clear
know.
on these things.
People trying to stick
It's for, for
their
people, right?
plastic bags in
Everybody.
there.
I'm gonna send this to all my friends. Let me take a picture.
only have one left.
Oh.
Sorry, Dave.
That's okay.
These are just some things that I was brainstorming in terms of educational. It's, the way I set it up, and the computer and I weren't talking well together, but they normally would be two separate items, two separate boards. I put them on the chain link fence as you drive up into the transfer station.
Yep.
So they're right in front of you the whole distance you're driving, and there are only a couple of things on each board. So that's the way I set it up here, only a couple of things on each board. And it's in large print, and most of the time it would be the actual object that's on there, not the name of it.
Okay,
So there'll be a can,
Okay.
right?
That's
There'll be
better.
rope,
yeah.
Yeah,
there'll be things like that.
yeah,
And the cost, the basic cost is roughly $300 just for the two pieces of mounting board. They're weatherproof, and then you put the items on it with Velcro.
So where would you put these? When they first start coming up the hill?
Yeah, up on the chain link fence.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, they're turning there, they're not gonna be able to read everything.
yeah, I see what you mean.
My,
As they're going up the hill, they've got quite a bit of time to look straight ahead. And these things are set up so it only takes 2 or 3 seconds of reading and you're done.
Yeah,
my
that's
suggestion would
not-
be, you
that's
know,
not
get the
good.
signs, putting them, where did I put that? All right, this is the fence here,
Yep.
put them in this way at a slant, you know what I'm saying? So when they come through, they'll see it.
All right.
Instead, I'm just saying, instead of putting it down this way, because mine,
Yeah.
believe me, they're just gonna drive by. If you got it at an angle, they'll stop and they'll look at it.
One little cedar.
That's true, that's
We
true.
put our signs up there, here and
Yeah.
there, they don't read them, they just drive right on
yeah,
by.
if it's a flat sign or something, they won't,
No, that's what I'm saying, you put it on,
like you say, yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
Can I borrow those notes?
and I think, you know, like, you got the sign down below saying
Those for the
glass,
minutes.
Yeah.
put it in the open top,
And probably kiss that.
and
Yeah,
the
we
woman
should do that.
standing right in front of the
This is
sign
how
we
I
have
took
up there,
notes.
saying throw the glass in there.
Right.
Standing with 2 bottles, right in front of the sign, you're not reading it, you're just looking, where am I throwing the glass?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
right in
yeah.
front of it.
Right,
We need a
right.
sign with lights, blinking lights, so that maybe I'll catch their attention.
No, but I think you make a good point in that if it's angled, it's something a little different.
Yeah.
They're looking at it differently.
But it's gonna be large
That's a good
print,
point.
minimum words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you're gonna do 3 different poster boards? Oh,
No, just 2, and it changes every, my guess is it would change every month. It's there for a month, or it could be there for just 2 weeks, and then it change to something else.
Oh, okay,
So it-
yeah,
it
so it's
doesn't
not
stay.
the same old thing.
so recycle stays,
Right.
but batteries change. So just saying, they'll
That's a
for
good-
something new in there?
I
Except
love
I
the way
didn't
Cory
understand.
takes notes.
You're gonna do Velcro underneath the sign, so like recycle,
I understand them.
That's all that counts.
I'm sorry, I just got something in my eye, other than my eyeball.
so the products will be Velcro.
Yes, yes,
Okay, so you'll switch those out.
yes. And I would take care of that, so Dick wouldn't have to do it. He's got enough to do.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. A busy guy.
But we
well,
had a-
we do put some paint cans in a compactor. The ones with the plastic bottom, because a lot of those things are just cardboard, you know what I'm saying? It's like a thick cardboard
We're,
paint.
we're supposed to be able to throw away latex paint,
Well, that's the one with the plastic bottoms.
yeah,
The metal bottoms, and if they're empty, then
If
they go
it's
in the
hardened?
metal.
yes.
Yeah, so it has
Supposed to be
hard.
able to harden.
Okay.
Yeah.
My guess is that if we do this, because it's another step to the process, once we've done this, then we need to, some of them are recycled, some are NDDT, hazardous waste,
Yeah, oil-based or something?
which leads me right into Manny needs to come here and talk with us. And the
That would be
reason he
fine.
needs to talk is the range of options that they'll set up for us is almost unlimited,
Mhm.
whatever we'd like. Whether it's $20 a family, $2,000 a year
Mm,
for the whole town, whatever we want.
right,
And that's what they'll set up.
sounds good.
And the signs will direct them to hazardous waste or non-hazardous waste or whatever.
Have
So
you?
if we do the hazardous waste,
Yeah,
other than a big one-event day, then Dick is going to have to, his crew is gonna have to monitor what happens, because the stuff will have to be not taken, not delivered, not emptied at the transfer station, but taken to NEDT.
Yeah.
But Manny may
Which is
also have a
right down
deal
the
for that
street.
too. They may come
Possibly.
and pick things up at the transfer station.
Well, then we should invite him to
Yeah.
come in. Yeah, that's a good idea to do that.
I mean, incredibly amenable. Wow, like, what can I do for you?
Mm.
I had a lot of people stop by and say, well, you get rid of oil, you can take oil, no, we don't,
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
So what I would like is, I would like a decision to move ahead or not move ahead on signs.
Well, let me ask you this,
What's the cost of the signs?
The basic sign to start with is $300.
okay, so have you spoken to, who have you spoken to about the signs, making the signs?
It's the guy I work with in Mendon.
Okay, because we have, right down the street, she's
You talking
on
about the-
FinCon.
Are you talking about the woman in Whitensville?
What's her name?
Is it Dirt Just Get Dirty or
Yeah,
Graphic Arts?
yeah, like that.
Graphic
Yeah,
arts.
I
Yeah, graphic
believe
art.
they're pretty expensive.
Are they? Yeah.
I don't,
She is expensive.
yeah, when my dad owns a company and we do lettering and stuff
Oh,
like
you
that,
do?
shirts, and she was pretty pricey.
Oh.
If it's the same one we're talking about, and this was a
That's-
while
that's-
ago,
That's the
so-
general drift of the name of the company.
Okay,
Get Dirty or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a
Where are
funny
they
name.
located?
I'm pretty sure it's like Whitensville, like almost by,
Near Berkey's,
I think it's Berkowitz, yeah.
Oh,
That
okay,
way.
that's.
On the left.
But I would get a quote, I mean, I don't know, this was a while
Sure,
ago
sure,
and
sure,
used to,
right.
Well, I went there fairly recently, within the last year, and she's much more expensive than the guy I deal with.
what about
And
like,
it's Lackey Dam Road, going in there, and it's on the left-hand side, down in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's, trying to think of her name. I had her do some signage for me.
I know there's like a company online, it's like 1-800 The Sign,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they're pretty, but it's bulk, like, if you only want one or two, it might not be worth it, or I'm not sure if like Vistaprint does signs, I know they do like flyers and cards and stuff like that, but you
Has to
would.
be weatherproof though, like has to be.
Right, like
no,
that.
Special material,
Yeah.
can't be just the paper.
Mhm.
Hutneck is who it is.
Has to be like,
I know you're thinking. I
Yeah.
know you're renewable.
Yep,
Hutneck, yeah.
so maybe different materials.
right.
Her mom, I think, is on the FinCon. Pretty sure, but anyway, yeah, I mean, 300 seems reasonable enough anyway, but,
And if we get the grant, we
Sure.
have
Sure.
some money for it.
there you go.
So we should wait for the grant.
Not necessarily.
Well, I mean, with only 1 point required to start getting the money in,
Well, that's true.
we should
yeah.
go for the 1 point. It's in some way, I don't know what way that is.
But you know,
Maybe
the
it's-
more points, the more money, so maybe it's worth waiting a little bit and collect some points. Then rush it with 1 point.
Yeah.
Right. We get a bunch of points.
Okay.
Kristen, can we sit down tomorrow sometime
Yeah.
and see what we can do right away?
I think we should do some signage. I'm just trying to find, I thought there was a guy in Douglas too.
I mean, she already circled things that
I
we're
mean, it's
doing.
not a bad idea to get an
I
idea of
might have,
someone
I can
else.
ask my dad who he used to, if you want another reference.
Sure.
And I can email you, cause he gets signs every year,
Oh,
So you won't
okay.
be alone.
so I can see who he
Uh-huh.
used the past year.
Uh-huh. Okay.
We should.
And like I said, there is that website that I know like GBI gets their signs from, and they are outside too.
Mhm.
And it's like 1-800 The Sign or something like
Mhm.
that, it's just a generic one and they're pretty cheap.
So just maybe it's worth to compare the prices.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Of
get.
course, you'd like something that is gonna be eye-catching too.
Yeah, yeah.
As well. Yeah. Okay.
So that took care of transfer station and educational signs.
Yes,
To me.
okay.
Others may have other thoughts.
Okay, we're talking about FY '23
I have the tonnages
budget.
too.
Yeah.
Tonnages.
Oh, you
Want
do?
the tonnages?
And Kristen went over this with Jean, our accountant, today. I plan to be with Kristen tomorrow to go over it because I had to leave, but maybe Kristen, you can kind of talk us through this a little bit.
So you can start at, health, I guess, where the monitored wells is.
Yeah.
The one that's, yeah, stapled.
Yep.
So the first one's monitor wells, that's Langdon, Bruce Langdon, who we hired this year. His price is not changing,
Really?
no. So he's gonna
How
take
did
the
you go from
price.
4,800 to 19?
Well,
No,
because,
what do you mean 4,800?
yeah, it shows
Oh, that
here.
was from 2020. Right now,
Yeah.
in 2022 is what we hired him at.
He's doing a lot more
Because he was
than
doing
what
something
we-
different.
Yeah.
It was different before, we
So-
didn't have him
So it's a
before.
change, okay,
Yeah, well,
thank you.
it was a change last,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's actually doing things the way they should be done.
Yes, yeah,
As opposed to what we were dealing with.
so that's, any questions on monitor wells?
No, I
Okay.
agree, it's a good change.
Yep. Landfill, the 1,600 is for the 2 mowings of the grass, which is not changing. And $500 is for an inspection that Bruce does for the landfill once a year for DEP. Like, this
That's for
requires it.
DEP?
Yep.
That's when they come in and check the wells.
No, that's the monitor wells. This is, he comes in, he does, you probably see him, he comes in, he does like a inspection of the landfill and the transfer station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The monitor wells, they come in and they test the wells, it's a whole
Right.
different day.
Okay.
And then Board of Health is compensation, the first part. So the first one's me at full-time, for 19 hours a week, and I get 11 hours a week from the transfer station. And then part-time is Julie at 13,
Mhm.
and then we have, the 3,760 is the beach water tester, the minute taker.
Why wasn't that in the previous years?
What,
The beach water testing, because we've been doing it.
Yeah,
we
we've been doing
changed,
it.
we changed it to a different category, that's all. It used to be up at 51200, now it's at 51201.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, and included in that too is the job or the position that we're hiring or hired for Agnieszka for the,
Contact tracing.
Contact
during the
tracing.
COVID.
so we need to keep that in there and.
COVID strikes again.
Who knows?
Yep. Going down, expenses, professional technical, that's Michael Back who does the water testing for the beaches, the lab, and food inspections.
What was the stipends up there?
Oh, the stipends, that is the health inspector.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay, then so we have Michael Back and food inspector. Bonding, that's just so Julie and I can handle money. Conferences, in case we go to any conferences. Pretty much everything's, the 5,400, which is supplies for 1648, that's the mosquito briquettes that we buy once a year to put in the catch basins. So they deliver to the highway department and they put them out for us. And then it's about
Where was that?
I didn't know.
the
that. Did you?
briquettes right here.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Any questions on that?
Yeah, can we get more mosquito things?
Okay.
Can't we find some more places to
I
put them?
don't know. Animal inspector, nothing's changed. I did call around to different towns to see if we should increase Lois' pay, but everybody, we're actually higher than everybody else. I think Millville just eliminated their animal inspector salary and Kevin's doing it
It
for
just
nothing.
doesn't seem right, you know?
I know,
How do you do that?
eliminated it.
It doesn't do that. I mean,
I would not do it
it
for
doesn't seem
nothing.
right. That is a tough
That was-
position. You
it
know,
is. You
It
deal
can be
with a
really
lot of-
busy, yeah.
you know,
For 3,000 a year, you'd cut it?
yeah.
Yeah.
They cut it.
That's petty cash.
Mm.
And
Not only that,
Reevy
that
stuff
job
that
is
Yeah.
you
not
have
an
to
easy
do.
job.
I mean, so if he quits, we'll be,
You get calls in the
Yeah,
middle of the
that's-
night, don't you?
yeah, I didn't go to those. Can wait till morning. But that's, it's a tough job though, you gotta,
It is a tough job.
you know, 8 o'clock and go out and find
All
a
the barn
raccoon.
inspections.
All the barn inspections, there's a lot of barns in town they gotta go around.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know about cutting.
I know.
Next page is nursing. And this is where, when did we increase our hours
Last, yes.
So, the big change here is gonna be the increase in pay. So, tomorrow night, the finance committee, that's gonna be the big question, or the maybe.
Yep. So,
Tomorrow night's financial.
you will be there, right?
Me, yes.
Agnieszka?
Oh, her, yes.
Yeah, well, we definitely need you there,
Yeah.
for sure.
We need Jean, so we need.
Yeah, we need you. But you will be there, so, I mean, if you have to back up anything,
Yeah,
because I can't really speak for you as far as, you know, your profession,
well,
let's say.
how you've been through this year.
Yeah, I know, we know
Yeah.
what you've been through.
So that will be,
It
They
hasn't
don't
been
know
easy.
that's,
right,
No, it's a lot. They're gonna look at the numbers, that's what they're gonna look at, and see the big difference.
right.
So we'll be prepared.
Yep.
That's
So
it.
that was health.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? And then next one's transfer station.
Yeah.
Pretty self-explanatory, so the wages, so the wages are, I don't know if this is the one with putting Bert up to like where George was, and we're gonna have the other person come in for Saturdays,
Yeah,
which will be all included in that.
yeah, 'cause Brett took George's spot.
Yep,
So this will be all, this is it here, right?
yep,
These are all the wages?
Yes.
For transfer station?
yep. And that's with wiggle room for snow shoveling, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one on mine, I had 3 hours there for snow, 'cause
Yeah.
Brett was doing his
Yeah,
his driveway.
yeah,
I get to knock the heck out of him. He came to the dump, I told him I'd be there around 2.
yeah.
By the time he got there, he just looked exhausted.
Yeah.
So he did a little shoveling, I told him, Brett, go home.
Yeah.
So he'll have an hour on it, so.
Yeah.
Give it 3 hours, I did do this.
Yeah,
the rest of
yeah,
the
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Not a problem.
Under org, account description, revised budget, year expended,
Where are you?
Under what?
top of the page.
Oh,
Yeah.
up here.
Revised budget was 82, expended with 44, and you're going back for 84? How do you get there?
Year to date,
Here today, yeah.
Yes?
so we're halfway through the year.
Okay, thank you.
So, any other, so then we can go down, I mean, it's pretty
Mhm.
self-explanatory.
It is?
Yeah, so like electric bills, don't worry about FICA, that's just what we have to
Yeah,
pay,
okay.
yeah. Other utilities is water bill,
Yeah.
repair maintenance, other. The other one, which is 52900, that is BP and Blackstone. That we pay for the recycling.
Mm-hmm.
What's this?
What do we pay for?
We're saying
Oh,
10,000
so you
a year.
included the hauling and?
Yep. So we're saying that next year we're gonna base it on 22,000 a month for BP,
Okay,
and then 10,000 for Blackstone
okay,
for the year.
I see.
Then go to other services for the 7750.
Mhm.
That is East Coast Electronics, so that's the red box.
Okay,
Bruce's, $500 for the transfer station inspection for DEP,
where is that?
the 7750.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so. Oh, yeah, okay.
And well, we put in $500 for tires, in case we have to pay for tires. When the tire day doesn't work out as planned.
Where was that, 500?
It's all included in that.
Oh,
So
it's included in
Yep,
this,
it's kind of
okay.
broken up here.
Oh, okay,
500,
I see,
500.
I'm slow.
That's okay. It's little, it's very small to read. Oh yeah, I kinda broke it out down here.
Yeah, I see it
Yeah.
over here, yeah.
What's with the gasoline at $50?
That's for the
And you-
lawnmower,
Mm.
But you don't spend anything?
we haven't this year yet, I guess.
Okay.
So you must have
It's
filled it,
there,
you must have filled it after July.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
hasn't been filled
yeah,
yet.
it lasts us quite a while.
We have a snow blower, don't we?
Yeah.
And you don't fill that with gas?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that
Times
much.
it snowed, what, 2, 3 times?
Yeah. They do the pathways,
that
they
much.
do the,
Thank God.
it's the shoveling they have to do.
Yeah.
It was only
All in
questioning
between everything.
Yeah.
just the non-expenditure, that's what I was questioning.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't give them a hard time, they won't shovel.
We'll have to have you come up.
$50 is well worth it.
But they aren't spending it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Year-to-date expended is zero.
That's okay. It's there if we need it,
Okay, I can accept that.
yeah.
And that's all,
Otherwise, we'll be shoveling.
and then down below is where it breaks it out for like the workers and the vacant spot.
So side note, if we go forward with signs or something, does that money come, that doesn't come from here?
Yes, if
It
it's
does?
for the transfer station, it would, yes. So
Have
we
you done it?
should have enough to do that. If it's only gonna be 300 plus.
Unless we get the grant, you're saying?
Yeah, if we get the grant,
Yeah,
we'll
we're
use the
gonna
grant,
get the grant.
yeah.
Right. Was that 300 per sign, or is that for all of these?
Look for the basic setup. And we take it from there.
Who's making the little cans and somebody has to make that, like all the little pictures?
Well, do I
What's,
do that?
Oh, you would do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
fine.
think I asked Gene this
Stick
today.
Velcro and.
What is other supplies?
That's a good question.
I asked Gene that too today.
What would be that? That could be when, like, we built the battery thing. It's other things that
So,
we,
stuff that we, like, we need some hand
Yeah,
tools or
like
something.
coupon stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, I get it. Isn't that a separate account? Does it- that is,
well, these are all broken up, so like that would be something like that. That wouldn't fall under like other services, like everything has, so it's a supply. 'cause we
There was
use
part
it.
of our signs or something would come out of our other account.
The general,
Yeah.
now if it's for the transfer station, is transfer station. So if, yeah, so if we're gonna do something for the transfer station, it comes out of there.
okay, so there's in-state,
We usually have more wiggle room in there anyway.
in-state trucking, is that what that is? T?
In-state travel, so
Okay.
that's
Oh,
for
that's travel.
mileage, yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
mileage.
Those get confused, so kind of stuff can come out of that. and has to come out
Everything in transfer station has to go on transfer station, anything in the health, nothing,
of- Nothing else can come out of it.
right. So like if we were running short in health, I couldn't like go, well, I can use the wages from the transfer station.
Right, right,
Mm.
okay.
Any questions? We can go over.
It's all
them.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
No?
Can you ask
Go
us
through it again? Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have to vote to, what did I say? Vote the budget to go on to the finance committee. I'm voting that the budget's okay to move on to go to the finance
The
committee.
budget as we just reviewed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion
Okay.
that we move the budget off to the finance committee as reviewed.
I'll second that motion.
Second motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is passed. Good. Moving on.
Yeah.
We have,
I was paid the last year. This was just given the budget, right? The rest is like, is it like, what came from the grant or something, it's not included.
that's interesting about
Sure.
the,
So this right here?
Yes, so this is
Plastic
just
right here.
from our
Yeah.
budget.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is
never
just from our
noticed
budget.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never did
So,
either.
well, like I was
I've seen
paid
one
more,
at Shaw's before.
just it's not
Did
included,
you?
because
Yeah.
it's from a different
No, it's not.
source or
That's
from
amazing.
that. The other one was like from the right? From the
3 by
document
4.
or-
No, I wanna say it was all two.
Okay,
Basic
I
signs,
didn't even check document.
each
That's
3 by
pretty
4.
3 by 4, that's a good size, yeah, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good size. That's good.
No, I think,
See now,
So how much do you
it
think
was-
the total cost?
check.
Close to that.
and there might come out of hold of, yeah, it must have, because we didn't pay it. So that went under, what do you call it, FEMA or
Yes,
CMRPC.
yes, yeah,
Yep, so this was
just
just,
budget, so
Yep.
you know, I have to submit W2 and see like.
because we ended up having to pay you more because
Yes,
that
the
ended.
hours,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
hours
yeah,
too. Mhm.
yep.
Okay, Agnieszka, you have the floor.
Alright. So, no, things are good for me. I'm getting my life back. I got my life back. No more working on weekends,
I know.
which
Yeah.
I love. And we have time to talk about other stuff and
Well,
catch
you've
up on
been-
other
you've-
stuff.
You've been a great support for the town now.
Thank
Well,
you.
we appreciate it. If-
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Thank
I
you very
tried.
much. Well, you-
Was
we can't thank you
Right.
enough.
a roller coaster, but I tried.
Yeah, I know.
But at the end, you know, I'm happy how it went, and I think we all handled this well.
You did very well.
Very
Oh,
well.
I wouldn't be able to survive with no Kristen. She was my
Yeah, Kristen's awesome.
emotional support.
Yeah, she's great.
So, but there were so many other things neglected through those 2 years. And so it's now time for me and Kristen to catch up with some stuff, and there are like monthly meetings, and which we attend online, but they are planning to resume them on the monthly basis. And this is through public health emergency preparedness. So they're gonna have a meetings, usually they are on Thursday once a month, and they have like central Massachusetts, bunch of towns, and they feel like there is really big need to have like practice sessions and like some workshops for Board of Health, because you know, we went through a lot, and we realized how much still to learn.
Right.
So they offer like free trainings, so we're gonna attend this, so we are excited.
Good. And Matt has approved all that?
Oh, you know, it's during the day on Thursday morning
Oh.
for a couple hours in like Worcester or, so I don't think we need,
Well, I mean, if you do, I'd be more than happy to speak to him.
yeah,
I think, it's not overnight or
Oh,
anything.
okay.
No, it's not, it doesn't cost us anything, it's just we go there for 2 hours and come back.
Right.
So that's exciting, because they're gonna do this on a regular basis, and since we have, on Thursday we have Julie, you know, would be nice for
Sure.
Kristen to go. There's additional training we're gonna attend in Southbridge on the 18th of
Okay.
June, and this is, I really want Kristen to go, because she can learn so much. Because, you know, people call and have a questions, who needs to,
Well, Kristen is front
Yes.
line.
Yes.
I know that.
you know, so she
Yeah.
needs to get more trainings, because none of us were trained. When we came here, there was no training for
Right.
us.
Remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
so, you know, this is the time for
You
us,
were- There was training for you.
Yeah.
yeah, like
We won't
2
get
Three
days.
of us started at the same
2
time.
weeks, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks there.
No, so, you know, like I feel like there is so much we still have to learn.
Yeah.
And
Sure,
we
I'm
wanna
sure
take
there is.
opportunities of those free trainings which are available to us, and I know many towns are interested, so. Another exciting news is that with the Blackstone group, the same group which hired the inspectors, we received another grant,
Mhm.
and we have hired an epidemiologist, which is just for us, our towns, and it's paid from the grant and doesn't cost us anything. That was
That's
a
great.
requirement.
That's
We
great.
had to, we had to hire an epidemiologist and public health nurse. And this nurse also covers those 8 towns. So she's like a very experienced public health nurse who is a resource for all those 8 towns, and she will be supporting us in the case we need her.
Yeah.
So we have those 2 people, and hopefully, maybe next month, they will be able to join us, so we can meet them. And
Well, that would be
I
nice, yeah.
introduced the AP to the schools, to the school nurses. We had a meeting with them, so if they have any questions related to the infectious diseases or health, and they can always contact our AP, because she's here to help us,
Mhm.
to support us, and So that's, she's like really knowledgeable, experienced, very smart woman. So this is one thing, and
We've had, the other two that we hired from the grant for the health inspector and, what's the other one? Kind of both health
Yes.
inspectors, have been doing some, mostly restaurant inspections or restaurant issues. So they come in maybe once every other week, cause they split between the 8 towns.
Yeah.
It's been really helpful though,
Really?
yeah, yeah. The
They're
young,
pretty knowledgeable.
yeah, very knowledgeable.
They really are.
So in
Yeah,
what
you've worked with
ways?
them
Yep, I've worked with them, yep.
on a couple issues?
Did some inspections with them, yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
good.
They're good, they're very knowledgeable, and it certainly is, yeah, it's a great help.
Mhm.
So that grant is for 3 years for them, you know, unless it's gonna get extended. The AP and public health nurse is for 1.5 years. If, you know, it gets extended, they stay longer with us, but this is, like I
So-
said, doesn't
so-
cost us not
Right.
a penny.
In what ways have they been helpful?
Well, Daniel has,
Just doing more inspections or?
Well, he's working on a website, putting new information on it, keeping up to date with COVID, or sort of keeping up to date with COVID. What else has he done? He'll
He's very good at.
write some
Yeah,
regulations.
he's very good at,
Bylaws.
restaurant
Bylaws.
inspections.
Bylaws.
He's going to the bylaws and
He really
checking.
knows his, the business.
We had a complaint about one of the restaurants, he went down there and handled it. We just had another complaint, he handled that. Danielle has been, we have a new business going in, so she's gonna inspect that and get that up and running, and they're very good.
Yep.
Thank you.
And you know, they also work with other towns. So
Yes,
they
that's been
hear
very helpful.
how things are handled in other towns,
That's right.
which helps us also.
So they'll be like, oh, you don't have this, you don't check for this here in this town, you know, that Northbridge does, so we'll just get what they do and we'll bring it here, and it's really good.
So we will be all this on the same page, all towns.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so we'll bring them in too, someday.
Yeah, yes, it's really exciting to have them.
It is.
Okay, next is health agent, that would be me, and what I have to say about that is I did bump into, Mr. Josie about the, the problem, in one of his apartments. And, I guess he's changed, he replaced windows, he upgraded the exhaust system, the ventilation. And from what I gather, his tenant still is going to move, so, everybody's happy in that case. And that's all I really have. It's been slow.
That's good.
You're not complaining.
Oh, no, I'm not complaining, but I still don't want a snow shovel.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough of my own.
All right, you can handle the ice
Yeah,
wagon part of it.
yeah.
Rua, is anything still going on with the couple of hoarding situations we had a year ago, two years ago?
You know, I never went on any inspection for that.
Yeah, I know.
And nobody
the building
ever-
inspector kind of took that over for us for a
Oh,
while.
that's still an issue, yeah.
It's still an issue.
Over there. They're still dealing with it.
That's in the buildings?
Hasn't
No.
been back to us.
No, I say, what department is that? Who's handling that?
Oh, the building,
The
Well,
building.
I was the agent, it had gone over to the building inspector.
yeah. Like
And it's-
zoning.
And it's
and-
still
Yeah.
ongoing?
Yeah, it's like zoning, it's outdoors.
It's still ongoing?
Because there was quite a few structures.
Not with us.
Not with
No.
us?
There was quite a few structures that were,
Hmm.
you know, not permanent, but permanent.
And, nothing on swine either.
Mm.
Good.
So that's all good.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm not busy, health agent.
We have
happy
bills and
health agent.
warrants.
Only one, bill? One?
Perfect. All set with that? One.
Yep.
Isn't that great handwriting?
Perfect.
You must only have one to sign that day.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they don't teach cursive like that anymore.
Okay, we have approval of the minutes.
that we accept the minutes as distributed.
Second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
He literally even records the minute.
I know, it's nice if you wanna go through real quick.
Like, oh, I wonder what happened.
And we have old business and new business, and I guess we were going to discuss transfer station again?
I'm sorry, I actually got a quick question.
Yeah.
Compactor B, 5.52 tons, is that just because it was
Oh.
going into a bad day or something?
Yeah, I don't know, I gotta go back and check my calendar. Yeah, I don't understand how that one got out like that.
The last thing, I think the last one we were, like, had some in the 12s, they were
I know.
all 10s.
What was
They
it,
were huge.
5 point?
Yeah, 5.52.
I mean, there's a 7, but that happens every now
Yeah.
and again if you go into a weird day, you
Well-
don't wanna head into the weekend or something.
When I had talked to the other guys, what we're doing now, the way I told them to do it, I wanna make sure these things get full.
Right.
And when the plunger stops, well, that's it, we can't put any more in.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what I'm doing, because the gauges are still screwed up. on
Yeah,
one-
we've had
on B.
difficulty with that.
Yeah,
with
and
the
it's
gauges,
like,
yeah.
before you go to hit the button, the thing's showing up, it's up like 8. That should be down to 0, but it's showing up at 8, so you don't know.
Something's up, yeah.
You know, something's not right there. And this one, because what I had told manager, what they're doing now is, okay, we, for example, Tuesday, we go with A.
Yeah.
And sometimes A will fill up, so if it fills up, like tomorrow, we go to B.
Right.
Thing is, we have A pulled out Wednesday, Thursday, we go back to A.
Yeah.
There was something too about the snow. We had a storm, and,
Maybe that's why we just.
yeah, and, you know, people didn't come.
That could be it, I
Yeah,
don't know,
messed
because
it
then
up.
And then you try to set up for the next day.
We have, when we call in Thursday, we
Yeah.
give them Friday's pickup, then we have to guess at Saturday's pickup. Then, yeah,
Right.
possibility, this is what, this is B.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that could be it, that could be it.
Yeah, I
I
think
gotta,
it-
I gotta look and
I
see.
think it may be.
Could have been like the snow right before or right after a snowstorm
Yeah.
or
Tells you the
something.
date,
yeah.
what's the date on it?
Just needed to get it out of
And
there.
the
to
date is
clear.
1/24. No,
1/31.
1/31. Yeah, we did have a storm
31.
back
Must have
then,
been.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you 10-1, that's what it
That
is,
might be
because you
it.
try to plan, you know,
Ahead a little bit.
a
It's
little
hard.
bit ahead, so
Yeah.
you say, we'll empty this, because we're gonna get
Well,
a rush
usually,
on
I
it.
haven't seen one that low in a
No,
really
I
long
know.
time.
That's,
Yeah.
I still wanna check my calendar to see if I
Yeah.
got anything written.
Like I said,
down.
the 7 happens now and again, the 5, I
Yeah.
don't think I've seen one
Well,
of
those,
those.
a lot of times it goes by what they throw in there. But sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes throwing stuff in there they're not supposed to be throwing.
No
in.
kidding.
And by the time not that we can see, because it's all in black plastic
Oh,
bags.
right, once it packs.
Yeah, once it packs, yeah, it packs, but again, there's a lot of
Right.
different
right.
things in there.
You know,
Right.
this brings up another point, and I think it's important that we look at this. We have X amount of people now working up there, okay? There's no reason why we shouldn't have somebody down below
Mhm.
at all times.
Oh, yeah, we can.
Even if, you know, and
Right.
I look at you, Dick, because you run the transfer station. And let's face it, without you, it's not gonna run properly. But I think that, you know, we have to have that rotation, and we have to, because you've seen it, I've seen it, I'm sure that, Corey, do you have your sticker? Can I say you?
Occasionally. Yeah.
We've all seen it, where people are dumping whatever in there. And at least if somebody, you're not gonna catch everything,
No.
Absolutely not, but at least if, you know, people see, oh, this guy is down there, they're less apt to throw things in there that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
The most egregious thing that I have seen is a large plastic bag filled with styrofoam cups that was thrown in the container for plastics.
Ah, yeah, see that.
I took one look at that and I said, you gotta be kidding,
But
this
that's what
isn't
I
even
mean.
close.
That's what I mean,
We'll go like, when the guys go down there, I mean, in plastic, see, the big pieces of plastic, we try and throw in the open tops. We don't want the big piece of plastic, if we can help it, in the plastic, they take up so much room, it's ridiculous. You know,
absolutely, yeah,
it's just,
yeah. But see, those things slip through the cracks,
Yeah.
and, you know, when you know, I just wanted, we'll keep it at that,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yep.
So, That's all I have to say.
No problem.
Yeah, especially when there's three on, right? When there's
Do we
a lot
have
of
anything
guys.
else to discuss about transfer station?
Old new business?
Or new business? I think that's it, right?
Ready for a motion to adjourn?
I'm ready.
Well, we'll make a date.
Meeting.
Move
Oh,
we
yeah,
adjourn.
meeting. Now,
Oh, yes, forget it. Don't
I do
vote.
have a situation. I'm going in for knee surgery in April 18th. Get my brand-new knee.
Oh, you'll be golfing in no time, huh? Back on the course.
So I may as well go both knees now, so. But that'll be the 18th
So we have to meet before the.
of April, so we're gonna have to, I'd like to have a meeting before I go in.
Okay.
So the 18th is
The 11th.
Monday.
You wanna do the 11th?
Sure.
It's fine with me.
That should be
4/11, huh?
Yep.
4/11.
So it's
I'll eagerly await the email.
Same.
I'm eager to send it.
You gonna put any DT Manny on the list?
I can, yeah,
That's a,
Yeah. that's okay.
on my notes. Oh, we had talked about cameras.
Oh, yeah. Cameras.
I have nothing to say. I don't have any information.
So,
If
is
we
ones-
need to hire somebody, we need to hire
the
somebody.
ones-
so
Yeah,
we can
fix
fix
it.
The existing ones
to
that
fix
need
existing,
fixing.
yep,
We could hire the same people that fixed the fire station ones.
which is probably what, who we used.
Let's do it
That
then.
installed it.
Yeah, I
The people
thought-
that installed it, I called.
Yeah, can we just
No,
do
when they
that?
did the
We can do
fire,
that,
they
but
better
there's
come
not
up
one
and
in
do
here.
it. Apparently didn't. Whoever fixed it, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll.
Well, maybe we can get, I mean, if he just gets it working, maybe we can get a recommendation as far as new cameras go and see if it's just a quick replace.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it's all hardwired.
Yeah, but they're talking about new cameras for the new compactors, if we do
Yeah,
that.
that's,
Oh, yeah.
that's off in the distance. I don't have any
Yep,
information
so I'm,
yet.
so Dave's not gonna meet Thursday. Cause he said he doesn't wanna meet until he knows exactly where you're putting something, cause he said it's not gonna make any sense to him
Yeah.
to figure all that out, unless he knows like a concrete
Mhm.
plan.
I will give him a call. He was just gonna meet me, we were gonna talk about what's happening up there. But apparently he decided to do something
Cause he,
else.
like, he normally doesn't work Thursdays, so he has switches.
I didn't set up Thursday, it was all, the ball was in his
Oh.
court. You tell me when we're going to be there, and we're only open Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. He wanted to meet Wednesday.
Yep.
That's
he's
when I
in town
went through the
Wednesday.
keys.
Oh, yep,
What is he doing?
IT.
He's the
Oh, the IT guy?
the town IT.
Oh, well,
Oh.
yeah.
Now,
All right.
he works for the town, or he has his own?
He has his own.
He works somewhere else, but
Oh,
he's the
I-
town
I-
IT guy.
Any of you have received an email from me, like a suspicious email? So
Don't open it.
don't open it because my email was hacked.
Oh,
And there was an email sent to everyone in my contacts.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Some
happened to me
proposal,
All right.
with some link, so.
Yeah.
Don't click
Comes
it.
back to me, yeah,
Nope, got it.
wasn't
Nope.
from me,
Right.
don't do it,
All right.
It looks legitimate.
yeah.
Okay, so do we have a motion?
Now, are you ready?
I am ready.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll
A
second.
second.
Oop, I'll third.
You must be hungry or
Motion has been
something.
seconded, meeting adjourned.